This is an Arab, but this is also an Arab. Now, why does the first one look so white and the second one looks black? Arabs form a wide and broad cultural group that consists of more than 400 million people from many different countries. But what is their DNA actually made of, and what is their race? We have the answer for you, but prepare to be shocked. Much of the modern Arab world is Arab in language and culture, but not genetics. Take Morocco, often seen as an Arab country. In reality, 30 to 35% of its population identifies as Berber, an ethnic group with its own language, distantly related to Arabic. Berbers have roughly equal ancestry from Neolithic North African farmers and European farmers. Moroccan Arabic, or Darija, is heavily influenced by Berber and French, making it unintelligible to Arabic speakers from Asia or Egypt. Genetically, even Moroccans identifying as Arabs have only about 13% Arab admixture, with most of their ancestry rooted in the local Berber population. Arab identity spread widely with Islam during the Islamic caliphates, but unlike in the Americas, this expansion didn't involve large-scale population replacement. For example, DNA from Muslims in Islamic-era Spain, despite being buried according to Muslim customs indicating their faith, was genetically identical to modern Spaniards, showing no significant Arab admixture. This raises the question, what other groups aren't predominantly Arab in a genetic sense? Moving east from Morocco, Arab admixture increases, but Berber ancestry remains dominant in Algeria and Tunisia. In Libya, the genetic picture changes. Arab admixture rises to 25%, Berber ancestry drops to about 45%, and there's a significant layer of ancient Canaanite ancestry, around 25%, likely from multiple waves, including Phoenicians and earlier migrations. Egypt offers a fascinating case. Despite the common belief that modern Egyptians are simply Arab migrants unrelated to ancient Egyptians, this is untrue. Predominant paternal lineages, like E1b1b, tie modern Egyptians to East and North Africa. Genetically, Muslim Egyptians have about 30% Arab admixture, while Copts, Christian Egyptians, have just 12%, with ancient Egyptian ancestry comprising around 60% and 80% respectively. While some assume ancient Egyptians were sub-Saharan Africans, this is unlikely. Backflow migrations of Natufians, who were Western Eurasians genetically and spread the E1b1b haplogroup in the region, are academically agreed upon, and the Sahara acting as a natural barrier-limited sub-Saharan gene flow into North Africa. Interestingly, modern Egyptians have more sub-Saharan African ancestry than ancient Egyptians due to diverse populations introduced during the Islamic era and modern times. Okay, fine. North Africans have low Arabian admixture, but all Arab nations of Asia must be different, right? Well, not so fast. Before the Islamic era, the Middle East wasn't solely Arabic and Jewish. It hosted diverse Semitic-speaking groups like the Canaanites, Phoenicians, Assyrians, and Arameans. These groups contributed most of the ancestry to modern Levantine Arabs, such as Lebanese, Palestinians, Syrians, and northern Jordanians. Unlike medieval Arab samples, these ancient populations had lower Natufian ancestry and higher Anatolian and Caucasus ancestry. While Muslim Levantine Arabs show some Arab and South Saharan admixture, Christian Arabs are predominantly local in origin, with up to 90% Levantine ancestry. This places them genetically closer to groups like Samaritans, Druze, Alawites, Cypriot Greeks, and Assyrians than to Peninsular Arabs. So, if North Africans, Egyptians, and Levantine Arabs don't have major Arab ancestry, then who does? Let's get into it. To understand Arab DNA, we must first define who the Arabs are. Nomadic Semitic-speaking tribes were recorded in the Arabian Peninsula over 5,000 years ago, but the exact emergence of the distinct Arab language and identity remains uncertain. The first reference to Arabs as an ethnicity dates to 853 BC, when an Assyrian scribe mentioned them in battle. By the following centuries, the Kedarite Confederation, an early Arab entity, controlled vast areas of the Arabian Peninsula. While no pre-Islamic Arab remains have been sampled, 7th century Muslim Arab remains from Syria reveal a genetic makeup of 60% Neolithic Levantine ancestry, a mix of Natufian and Anatolian hunter-gatherers, and 40% Neolithic Iranian farmer ancestry. These ancient populations predate modern Arabs and Iranians, so don't take the terms too literally. The Iranian farmer ancestry refers to people long before modern Iranians who at the time did not speak Indo-European languages and are named as such due to being predominantly located in what's today modern-day Iran. Genetically, these samples of medieval 7th to 8th century Muslim Arabs excavated from Syria align closely with modern Yemenis, Yemeni Jews, Saudi Arabs, and various Bedouin groups. So now that we know their genetic profile, what groups of Arabs have the largest levels of this ancestry? The first group we want to mention are Sudanese Arabs. Sudanese Arabs have significant Arab admixture, contrary to the assumption that North African Arabs are more Arabic genetically than they are. Historically, many Arab tribes have migrated to and settled in Sudan at various times. Depending on the tribe, Arab ancestry can reach up to 80%, particularly among Rashida Arabs who migrated to Sudan recently in the 19th century. Even long-established tribes in Sudan may have up to 60% Arab ancestry, with the national average likely around 40%. Though this varies by tribe and is hard to establish exactly without weighing the populations of each tribe. Sudanese Arabic is also far closer to Arabic spoken in the peninsula than the North African Darija mentioned earlier. This genetic data applies specifically to Sudanese Arabs, with Nubians and Beja also showing some Arab admixture, unlike other ethnic groups in Sudan. Next are the Bedouin groups, spread across the Arab-speaking world. Due to their nomadic lifestyle, Bedouins have often preserved significant Arabian admixture, even in countries where most of the population is not predominantly Arabic genetically. This is true for Bedouin groups in Egypt, Israel, Tunisia, Morocco, and other regions, though some local admixture is present. Omani and Iraqi Arabs form a unique cluster due to their mix of significant Arab ancestry and a component of recent West Iranic ancestry. This is distinct from the older Neolithic Iranian farmer ancestry already present in Arabs. For Iraqis, this likely came directly from Iranians due to their shared border and historically fluid boundaries. For Omanis, the West Iranic influence may stem from maritime trade with Iran and the historical presence of the Balochis, a West Iranic people with a long-standing community in Oman. The group with the highest Arab genetic admixture is the rest of the Peninsular Arabs, including Saudis, Yemenis, Bahrainis, Kuwaitis, and Arabs from southern Jordan. This group typically averages around 70% medieval Arab ancestry, closely resembling the 8th century samples. They also have some additional Anatolian and Caucasus admixture, likely from Canaanite admixture, which is estimated at 20% in Peninsular Arabs. This makes sense, as the early Arab Islamic caliphates were centered in Damascus, a likely source of this admixture. Interestingly, these genetic findings align with Arab oral history, which describes two branches, the Qatanites, from modern Yemen, and the Adnanites, from northern Arabia. Qatanites are considered the purest Arabs, while Adnanites are seen as more mixed or Arabized. The DNA results suggest Yemenis are genetically closest to the medieval Arab samples, with lower Canaanite admixture compared to Saudis and others, who, though still highly Arab, show higher levels of Canaanite admixture. To sum up, what race are the Arabs, and why do some ethnicities get mistaken for being genetically Arab? North Africans, Levantines, and Peninsular Arabs are categorized as West Eurasian genetically, which includes populations from Europe, the Caucasus, North Africa, the Middle East, parts of Central Asia, and parts of North India and Pakistan. Because these groups share phenotype similarities, people often assume they are all Arabs, leading to misconceptions about North Africans being descendants of Arab migrations rather than local populations. Similarly, Sudanese Arabs, though they have significant Arabian ancestry, may be perceived as less Arab in phenotype due to local African admixture. Arabs, with the exception of Sudanese Arabs, are generally considered West Eurasian, though their phenotypes can vary. It would be difficult to classify them as white, since that is an arbitrary concept. While some Levantines and North Africans may resemble Southern Europeans, they are not predominantly Arab genetically. Peninsular Arabs, who are mostly Arab genetically, look distinct from both Europeans and Africans, so their racial identity depends on context. Genetically, however, they are closely related to other West Eurasians. This may be what the US government meant by the white category in the census, as it includes not only Europeans but also North Africans, the Middle East, the Caucasus, and Central Asia.